Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyid al-Anbiya wal Mursaleen amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. For those that were watching me before and had no voice, I'm very sorry about that. I have been having some microphone troubles since a few while now. So I'll start off over again. Alhamdulillah, nahmadu wa nasta'inu wa nastaghfiru wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu wa nashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa nashhadu anna sayyidana mawlana Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So again, this is Tafseer Thursday. My name is Ustad Shazad Shafi. This is a class in which we are talking regarding the tafsir of the 30th juz Surah Al-Baqarah. And Alhamdulillah, today is the 5th class. And we have already been past 4 classes in which we talked about Surah Al-Naba. And we talked about 9 ayats from Surah Al-Nazi'at. So today we are going to continue from the 10th ayat, the 10th verse of Surah Al-Nazi'at. For those that have any questions, you can go ahead and type it in the comments. I do appreciate that. Even if there's any problems that's going on, for example, no sound is coming or any other problem going on, please text it over there. That's how I can actually know there's any problem going on. So I'll just give a minute for everyone to join. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So starting off, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an, بعد نقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يقولون أئنا لمردودون في الحافرة أئذا كنا عظاما نخرة قالوا تلك إذا كرة خاسرة فإنما هي زجرة واحدة فإذا هم بالساهرة هل أتاك حديث موسى. So in the previous ayats, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about Qiyamah, and these are the ayats that were revealed in Mecca, and the chapters that were revealed in Mecca are mostly talking about the Qiyamah, and this chapter is also talking about the Qiyamah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started off in this surah, He started off talking about the angels. He talked about the angel of death, of Malakul Maut, and how the angel of death, he captures the souls of those pious people with such easiness, and those that are infidels and not on the correct path, on the correct belief, then how he takes their souls away with harshness. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the Qiyamah, and how in the Qiyamah everyone will die and how they would be resurrected. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a reply, and He Himself is telling in this verse about those infidels that criticize and do not believe in the Day of Judgment, and He Himself tells that what are they saying. And then later on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them the reply. So, like we mentioned in Surah Al-Naba, there are 2 different type of people during the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that had their opinions regarding the Day of Judgment. There were those that had the belief, that there is going to be Qiyamah, there would be the day of judgment, but at that day their idols will come and save them. So for that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about them in Surah An-Naba. Now it comes to the second category that do not believe in the day of judgment at all. And from those people, there are also two, you can say, subcategories. There are one of those that cannot understand the concept of how someone can come back to life after death. While the second one is how our bodies, after they are rotten in the graves, our bones are rotten. So how can we come to a state as we were before we died? So they have a hard time understanding that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually talking about the second category over here, the one that have a problem understanding how our bodies can come to the to the former state. Because the first part of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can bring someone back to life has been mentioned in multiple places in the Qur'an. There have been multiple people from the past, even before Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that had the same objection. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at multiple places in the Qur'an has mentioned of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings back to life those that die. One of the examples is the time of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. It's mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. And the beautiful thing is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah first talks about Hazrat the waqia, about the story of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and how Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam says that how can a person Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show him some sign that how he brings someone back to life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows him the life. Another waqiyah right together with this part of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam is the story of Hazrat Uzair radiallahu ta'ala an, or Hazrat Uzair alayhi salam, sorry. So Hazrat Uzair alayhi salam was passing once by a place which was completely destroyed. Everyone was dead over there. All the buildings and everything was all dead. So Hazrat Uzair alayhi salam had the question that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can build or bring these people or bring this place back. So he had the question of life after death. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him an example, and the example Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him die at the same spot. So he basically went into sleep and died at that same spot. And after 100 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him alive again. And now Hazrat Uzair alayhi salam is just thinking that he slept for a day or two, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him that no, you have slept for over 100 years. You should look into at your donkey that you were traveling upon. So when he sees over there, he sees that the donkey basically he has no more meat on him. It's just bones, and basically whatever things he had to eat and drink were all rotten now. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the example that this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can bring someone back to life after he has died. So at multiple places in the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has talked about how there's resurrection, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can bring someone back to life after they have died. But now, like I said, the second type of people that do not believe in the Day of Judgment are those that cannot understand the concept of how our bodies can come to the former state that before we died. Right now, we have our flesh, we have meat inside ourselves. So how can we come back to this state? Because once a person dies, after a few days, his body starts to, decompose, and it just becomes bones then. So Allah, they had the objection, the infidels, and they used to say, "Inna lamarduduna fil hafira," that are we going to be brought to our former state? أَإِذَا كُنَّا عِظَامًا نَخِرًا, is it when we are turned into decayed bones? قَالُوا تِلْكَ إِذًا كَرَّةٌ خَاسِرَةٌ. They say, if so, that will be a harsh coming. So, the first part, the first ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, يَقُولُونَ إِنَّا لَمَرْدُودُونَ فِي الْحَافِرَةِ. They have the objection that, are we gonna come back to the former state that we were at? Hafira, there are different opinions on this, what the meaning of hafira is. But one of the chosen opinions by the majority of the scholars is that it means to the position, to the state the person was before he died. So how he died, if he died as a child, so he would be resurrected as a child. If he was old, he would be resurrected as an old person, just as how he was before he died. So they say, أَإِذَا كُنَّا عِظَامًا نَخِرًا, that how can someone be brought back after he is turned into decayed bones? Like our flesh is gone. So they had that objection. قَالُوا تِلْكَ إِذًا كَرَّةٌ خَاسِرَةٌ. They said that if this is going to happen, then it would be a karratan khasira, meaning there are different opinions for this too, but one of the things is they are saying that if you are to believe that that you would be resurrected after death, then this is a lie. Then you're just karratan khasira, you're believing in a lie. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then clarifies that no, this is not a karratan khasira, this is not a lie. This is from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another is karratan khasira. Another opinion is that it does not mean a lie, but it means إِذَا كُنَّا karratan khasira, that it would be a hard thing. It's not an easy thing. It would, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring all the things back again and bring all the people from Hazrat Adam alayhi salam to Qiyamah, to bring them all back. So this is a very hard thing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them the answer in the next ayat, that they say, تِلْكَ إِذًا كَرَّةٌ خَاسِرَةٌ, they say it's a very hard thing. فَإِنَّمَا هِيَ زَجْرٌ وَاحِدٌ. That what do they think about? They're saying that this is a hard thing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِنَّمَا هِيَ زَجْرٌ وَاحِدٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proves that this is such an easy thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will even do it with just one sound. The one harsh sound, and everyone will be back. Everyone will be resurrected. This, فَإِنَّمَا هِيَ زَجْرٌ وَاحِدٌ, that with one harsh sound, they will come back. And this is actually the talk about the trumpet, when the trumpet will be blown the second time, so everyone will come back. فَإِذَا هُمْ بِالسَّاهِرَةِ. So by that blowing of the trumpet, فَإِذَا هُمْ بِالسَّاهِرَةِ, they would come. فَإِذَا hum is basically referring to all human beings, everyone, that they will be standing in the plain of Hashar, the ground, and Sahira basically means upon the wajh al-ard, upon the surface of the ground. So once the second time the trumpet is blown, everyone would just come out of the places, though they were inside their graves, or they died in the sea, or wherever, they would just come back out and they would be standing upon the earth. So this is the third part of Surah Al-Nazi'at. The first part was about the angels, and the second part was regarding the Qiyamah. The third part is also about the Qiyamah, but it is more as a reply to those that have the objection of resurrection after death. Now the fourth part is a more interesting part. It is talking about the qissa, about the story of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, about how when he was going back to basically to the place of Fir'aun, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called him and basically gave him the prophethood, and he went back and started to spread the message with his brother Hazrat Harun alayhi salam. So I'll read the ayats first. These are around 11 ayats that actually talk about this, and they talk about the whole story. Inshallah, this is a very brief story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in much more places he talks in a more detailed way. For example, if you want to actually read regarding the story of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, you can go and look up chapter number 10. that has a more detailed explanation of the story of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بعد أن نقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث موسى إذ نادى ربه بالوادي المقدس طوى اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى وأهديك إلى ربك فتخشى فأراه الآية الكبرى فكذب وعصى ثم أدبر يسعى فحشر فنادى فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى فأخذ الله نكال الآخرة والأولى إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to Huzur sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the beloved messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, because this is a story in Mecca, and Huzur sallallahu alayhi wasallam was going into a lot of hardship with the people of Mecca, with the kuffar of Mecca, as they were troubling him. So Huzur sallallahu alayhi wasallam was having a lot of hardship, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the example of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam to ease him. And the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the example of Fir'aun, that was the enemy at the time of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, because he was more severe at that time, and while the kuffar of Mecca were not as much. And the reason is because the kuffar of Mecca, they were trying to get rid of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, because they had the problem that their religion is going to die out. While the Fir'aun, the problem for him was that his kingship, his kingdom, was going to die out if everyone started to follow Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Because Fir'aun, he claimed for the ilahiyyah, for that he was God. So he claimed that, and that is why he forced everyone to come and worship him, and he had a very hard behavior towards those people. So he came to know that if everyone started to believe in Hazrat Musa alayhi salam and his God, so everyone would stop believing in me, and everyone will start thinking me as someone, just a regular human being. So his reputation and his whole idea that he is a God would all fail. So this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Huzur sallallahu alayhi wasallam the example of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ مُوسَى, that has there come to you the narrative about Musa. This is in a format of question, that هَلْ أَتَاكَ, that has there come to you Hadith Musa, the narration of Musa. While the hal is not a question, but is nafiya, it's for just a negation, that did not come to you the narration of Musa. It is still a question, but in the form of a negative question, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told Huzur sallallahu alayhi wasallam about Musa alayhi salam and Fir'aun. So إِذْ نَادَى رَبُّهُ بِالْوَادِ الْمُقَدَّسِ طُوَى, recall when his Lord called to him in the blessed valley of Tuwa. So when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he was going back towards his country, because he was out of the country for a long time, because he was wanted for accidentally killing someone. So he was wanted, and he came out of the country, and he stayed out of his country for a long time. So when he was going back, thinking that people might forgotten all the incident that happened, so he goes back, and he is in the way. He is by Tuwa, and Tuwa is a valley between Misr and Medina. So he's going through that valley, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls out to him to come towards Tuwa. And there are different opinions about how this called out was. Basically, one of the most famous opinion is that there was fire over there, and Hazrat Musa alayhi salam went to get that fire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called out to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, and once Hazrat Musa alayhi salam came over there, he got the whole revelation and he got the prophethood, and he got some miracles. And the most famous miracle that was given over there was when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he used to put his hand in his armpit, then he used to take it out, so it used to light up like the sun. Yadul Bayda, so that's what normally the tafsirs call it. So this was one of the signs that was given to him, and he was given the command that now go, idhab ila fir'auna, that go towards Fir'aun, innahu tagha, because he has crossed. Tagha means to cross the boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for you, meaning he has crossed the boundaries. Like I said, he declared that he was a god, and this is basically crossing the boundary that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. So, اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى, go to Fir'aun because he has crossed the boundaries. فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى, so say that would you like to purify yourself? Now when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he comes out of Futua, he goes directly to Fir'aun and stands in front of him. Now the amazing part over here is he just traveled, and for many days, and that time a person had to travel for so many days, and now when a person travels for so many days, he's covered in dirt, and basically you can tell that he has just came from a travel. So he did not go home and rest. He directly went to Fir'aun, and now Fir'aun was a king, and to speak to a king you need first approval, and you go over there and you talk with respect in front of the king, otherwise you would cause trouble for yourself. So Hazrat Musa alayhi salam comes to Fir'aun, and he comes directly to him and says that, would you like to purify yourself? And he says that, he keeps on talking that you have done wrong, there's only the God, the true God, you are not a God. And he's standing in front of the king, and he knows that there's a possibility that Fir'aun can cause him harm. Well, and he says, وَأَهْدِيَكَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَتَخْشَىٰ, and he says that I can guide you. I can guide you, so that I should guide you towards your Lord, so that you fear him. Now, like I said, that how Fir'aun knew that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam can be a big threat to his kingdom. And you can actually note this by this ayat, that he just comes to him and says that I can show you the real path, you're not the real God. The real God, I can take you towards him, I can show you, I can guide you towards him, I can purify from all these sins that you have been doing. And then Fir'aun still doesn't accept Islam, and he still rebels against Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Just a small introduction to who Fir'aun was for those who do not know. Fir'aun was a mighty ruler who was greatly persecuted, who persecuted the Bani Israel. He was, before the time of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, during the time of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam, Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam actually mentioned that there would be a drought that would come, so prepare for it. And this is the time when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, before he got the kingship himself, he told everyone about this, so everyone started to prepare for themselves. So all the water of Nil, that was the river in that area, so the water started to dry up, and everyone, they were already prepared for it. But the family of Fir'aun, his ancestors, their water did not run out, so they had the power, they were kings at that time, but there were multiple kings, and the family of Fir'aun, their water did not dry out, so they had more power than compared to the others. And then by the time that Fir'aun came, and then he was known to be the only ruler at that time. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam sent to invite him towards the truth, but Fir'aun rejected him, considering himself to be a god. his mention has been, he has been mentioned in the Bible, and he has also been mentioned in the Qur'an at many places. If you want to look him up in the Bible, you can go and read chapter Exodus. So now when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam came to him and said that I can show you towards the right path, but he was still rebelling against Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, even though Hazrat Musa alayhi salam showed him the signs, فَأَرَى الْآيَةَ الْكُبْرَى, not even regular signs, but the big signs. And one of the big signs was the Yad al-Bayda, that he puts his hand in his armpit and takes it out, so it lights as the sun. It's but even after showing him all these signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَكَذَّبَ وَعَصَى, he was still belying all those and was still sinning, meaning he still continued his claim that he was the God. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still talking about Fir'aun, that even after فَكَذَّبَ وَعَصَى, even after he belied the signs of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam and he was sinning, ثُمَّ أَدْبَرَ وَيَسْعَى, then he turned back and tried hard to refute Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. And how this happened is, once Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he came to Fir'aun and talked to him about all that discussion that went through. Then basically a type of munazara was going on, because he was called a magician for showing his signs. So Fir'aun said that, okay, I will bring the top of my magicians to basically challenge you. So he was trying very hard, and another thing that he was trying very hard was to basically put it in everyone's mind that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was a magician. And one of the reasons was that because even in the beginning, Hazrat Fir'aun brought up different excuses that about Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Sometimes he said he's a liar, sometimes he said that he's a fortune teller, sometimes he said that he's a magician. So everything was going on, and now when you're saying so many things about a person, so people they kind of realize that there's something going on, so they start to actually do their research by themselves. So then basically the advisors of Fir'aun told him that no, just stick to one thing, tell everyone about one thing. So they came up that we will tell them that he's a magician. So he was trying really hard, and then he went to everyone. He sent his troops to everyone to go and call out everyone to come to that place where the challenge is being taken. While they didn't want to come, they were not really interested to come and watch this, but this was the force of Fir'aun, that he basically called up everyone that you have to come, and he told them that this is the magician, but we would fight him. So he tried very hard. And the most amazing part over here is how basically Fir'aun twisted his tongue, because in the beginning he used to say that I am the God, this is my land, I am the ruler over here. But when this part came, when he saw that there's trouble in his kingdom, and now he wants to come and basically, as you can say, he became a politician, and he now wanted the votes from everyone. So what he does, as the Qur'an says, he goes to everyone and says that Hazrat Musa is a threat to your land. He has come and he can cause harm to your land. He basically changed his whole tone. He tried everything to come and basically try to get the people towards him. فَحَشَرَ فَنَادَ فَقَالَ أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. And basically then he gathered his people and shouted and said, I am your supreme Lord. So he still continued on with his claim that he was the Lord. And Allah, he basically, from the beginning, he was still continuing the point that, no, I am God, I am God. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam still refuted him many times. And basically for many years this went on. Then after when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam finally started to leave with the Bani Israel, so they came towards the river, and Hazrat Musa alayhi salam split the river, and they started to go, and Fir'aun now follows them and goes into the river, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then closes the river, and Fir'aun is about to drown. So now Fir'aun sees that the death is now in front of him, and he believes, and he says that, as the Qur'an mentioned, he says that, I believe that there is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but him whom the tribe of Israel believes. I am one of the Muslims. Now once he's drowning, and he sees that now he has no way out. So now he goes and he says that I believe, but now it was too late. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown him too many signs, and everything is now death is in front of him. And now his iman would not be accepted. So the Qur'an says, says, what now? When previously you rebelled and were one of the corruptors, today we will preserve your body so you can be a sign for people who come after you. Surely many people are heedless of our signs. These two acts of how Fir'aun was accepting and how the Qur'an basically rejected his acceptance. This is actually mentioned in the 10th chapter. So if you want any more details, you can go and it's a very clear, basically what the Qur'an is trying to say. Just open an English translation and you can basically understand the whole story. It's very clear. So now basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him the death, but not any easy death. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him he makes his death an example for everyone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَخَذَ اللَّهُ نَكَالَ الْآخِرَةِ وَالْأُولَى إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَعِبْرَةً لِمَنْ يَخْشَى. So Allah seized him for an exemplary punishment in the hereafter and the present world. Indeed, there is a lesson for him who fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Exodus, in the Bible, the only thing that is mentioned over there is that Fir'aun drowned, but nothing that he would be kept as an example for the people. This is only mentioned in the Qur'an. And this is now coming, you can finally understand what it means by a pure example that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for us. If you, right now, basically Fir'aun was drowning, but he did not drown. Because if someone drowns, basically he would be in the bottom of the ocean, in the bottom of the sea, and his bones would decay. But the Fir'aun, his body was thrown out or was fetched out, and it's kept as a mummy, meaning his bones are still there, and it's actually kept in what do you say, it's on display right now. You can actually go and see the body of Fir'aun right now. As the body of Fir'aun, which is the remises too, in the English culture, because there were so many Fir'auns, there was different, Fir'aun is basically, what do you say, the title of the kingship that he had. So his father was also a Fir'aun, his father was also a Fir'aun, but this one is called, as he's known as Ramesses II. So he is the one that is believed to be the Pharaoh in the time of Musa alayhi salam. So his mummy is still preserved and currently on display in the Royal Mummies Chamber in Cairo Museum, Egypt. So even till now, his body, and it has been over many years, even before the time of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and if you say that the birth of Isa alayhi salam is according to the year we're in right now, 2017, if it's been 2017 years, then think about it, more than 2,000 years, and even after 2,000 years, his body is still there, and now it's on a display, so that we can actually go and see it, and we can take ibrat from it, that what happens to those that rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, like I said before mentioning these ayats, these ayats were as a khitab to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to bring ease to him and to give him the encouragement that no matter they right now are going against you, they're teasing you, they're causing really problems for you, but don't worry about that. Don't worry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of them. Those that go against you, in the future, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would take care of them. So that's where we would finish tonight. If you have any questions, you can still ask me. Please like and share this video. This is Tafseer Thursday with Ustad Shazad Shafi every Thursday after Maghrib. Also, I wanted to ask one more thing with you guys is in Ramadan, because next week would be our last class before Ramadan. So what should we do in Ramadan? Should we keep it after Maghrib, or should we do it after Asr? I was thinking for Asr, but I still want your guys' suggestion. If you did like this video, please like and share. Inshallah, those that watch this video and learn about the Quran because you shared, you will get the sawab for it. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا لا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.